Hey, it's Anya.
It's your girl, Nadia.
What's up, guys? It's Trent.
And I'm Ramesh, and we are The Community. We're covering the latest in pop culture, politics, and everything in between. Let's get started. Good day, and welcome to another week of The Community. We are officially 2 days away from July 1st, which means that our borders are about to be open. And guess what? In all of this heat, you can now go to the beach with four other people. And you can wear your mask on the beach.
Yeah,
That's the Lord.
Oh, how does everybody feel? You know, beaches are open. Do you feel like there will be a lot of beach parties? Do you feel like a lot of persons will not be wearing their mask on the beach and risk getting fined that $200 fine for not wearing your mask?
I'm nervous.
I think the beach is a little bit of a complicated one with wearing your mask. I do get the concept of wearing it when you get there and then you take it off. But then if you take it off when you get there and you're in your group, what if I forget something at my car? I'm probably going to forget to put it back on. Not to mention, what if I want to take a stroll on the beach? How do you identify that I was always there and came with my mask on first? Or if I'm a newcomer and, I'm not adhering to the mask rules. I think that the mask rule for the beach is a little bit tricky.
You really thought into this, because I didn't think that far. I really didn't.
I don't think it was a good decision.
What, to make persons wear masks?
No, to open up the beaches.
Yeah.
I mean, not opening the beaches is not going to affect our economy. Like, we need to make decisions that are not harmful.
So I think go on, sorry.
We're not going to lose money or anything of that nature by not going to the beach. We still don't have a vaccine as yet.
I think the strategy behind it is because we're opening our borders and tourists are going to come, our beaches have to be open for our tourists to be able to enjoy. So it's like me going to Colorado to go skiing, but all of the mountains and ski lifts are closed.
Right.
So a lot of persons are coming to enjoy our beaches. Right. So
I want to say just open the beaches at the hotels, but Bahamians will take that as discrimination. So,
yeah.
I'm super nervous about it though, because I just feel like there's going to be a group of people that's just not going to listen. I really feel like they're not going to adhere to the rules and ruin it for everybody. Now, I'm not a big beach person, so it doesn't really matter to me. But I don't like the idea of knowing that I still can go, even though I wouldn't go on a normal day. But
yeah,
we'll see how it goes.
Just your option is gone, kind of thing.
Right.
It's amazing how I haven't been to the beach in 2 years, and now I want to go to the beach. But anyway,
that's it's taken away from you. That's the problem. Like,
not only that, it is beyond 100 degrees out. Okay, when I say it is hot, it is hot. I understand the desire. Now, the Prime Minister has already stated he's going to be monitoring everybody. So if people decide to go and have their beach parties and disobey the law, then our independent beach picnics and everything that people like to have definitely will not happen because he will close the beaches back up. So,
even if the beaches remain open until independence, you still can't really have that big picnic if it's only supposed to be 5 of you together.
Right, but trust me, persons.
But I guess the idea of still knowing that you can go on the beach on the holiday is better than knowing that you can't.
And then, so my question: how do we know that everybody that's 6 feet apart aren't together? So who's to say that my family of 32 isn't going out there and just setting up a bunch of blankets 6 feet apart from each other, right?
Yeah.
Listen, that's actually kind of funny, but if 32 of y'all want to go and y'all split up in groups of 5, sure.
And then
as long as y'all in y'all groups of 5 and y'all wearing your mask.
Now, when I go in the water, how does that work? It's like a Marco Polo type of thing. It's like, Marco, you too close.
Like Bahamas saltwater cures everything, so it's not applicable. But it's the same thing like a curfew. Corona clearly has a curfew and ends at 9 p.m. for whatever reason.
It's 10
probably in the saltwater.
Extended an hour.
That's how they that's how they made it when they designed it. When they made it inside the lab, I assume.
They were like expiration between the hours of 10 and 5 a.m.
When it's time to scheme.
Well, you all aren't the only ones who seem to have a plan for how to cure the coronavirus, because President Donald Trump also has a plan to eradicate the rising number of coronavirus cases in the United States. Do you want to know what that is? Do you want to know how he's going to reduce the number of cases?
Sure.
Reduce the number of testing. Donald Trump said the reason our numbers are rising is because we continue to test. So, to reduce the numbers, stop testing. I was like, way to go, Donald. That's how you do it.
That's great.
That's how you do it. Great. Yep. So, there you have it,
folks. More focused on the race war that is happening in his country.
No. Donnie has gone back to attacking China for this virus. He says, once again, there are so many ways that you can describe this virus, and he once again called it the Kung flu. I mean, I don't think he's learned from his past mistakes, or he just does not care.
He doesn't make mistakes.
But
I really think that if, God forbid, he actually wins the election again in November, I actually think that they would burn down the White House. Like, because I feel like
I don't think so.
Would have won.
There's a lot of people that support that man, and just a lot of them aren't speaking out as much. It would not surprise me if he was to win again.
Agreed. I also feel like there are a lot of Black persons that support him and just don't want to be canceled by the community, so they don't.
Correct. So they're not speaking out. When you go in, that's you by yourself.
If he wins, like Nadia alluded to, if he wins, there will be a riot.
There'll be. I think that there will be a lot.
It is going to happen. It's definitely going to happen.
Trent, you also have to realize now, the only way that someone can win is if the voters vote for you. So if there are going to be persons writing to say no to Donald Trump, there are going to be persons writing to say, that's our boy.
And that's what's going to make a war. Because at the end of the day, if he wins, it's not going to be by a gap of any sort. It's pretty...
I think, unfortunately, we are back to similarly the same case that we were in 4 years ago, where it was Hillary Clinton and Donald Trump. Yeah, it was like,
which evil is better?
Right, it was like, are we ready for a woman, or do we want Donald?
I bet they wish they had Hillary now.
Now it's, boy, Joe's be saying some weird things. I ain't too sure.
Yeah.
It ain't that you know. Joe
Biden is on a different run.
You know what it really is? It's, am I really going to vote against my white privilege? That's what it's going to be.
Now, I think, especially because of this race issue, now it will be that.
Because at the end of the day, people are afraid of change. And they're used to being treated a certain way, and they're used to having certain privileges. And that being subject to change is something that they may not vote against. And they may be showing that they're against it now, but when they get behind that poll, their true colors are going to come out.
Very true. Well, speaking of persons voting and supporting, Donald Trump held a rally 2 weeks ago. And at this rally, he asked them, well, let's give the backstory. So you had to RSVP for the rally. Now, the rally had a capacity of about 21,000. That's the max that the arena could hold, considering all of the social distancing stipulations. Donald Trump got 2 million persons to RSVP. He was ecstatic, okay? He had built an overflow area just for these supporters because he anticipated 2 million persons coming to this 21,000 capacity arena.
He also was prepared to say, "I told you so."
Yeah,
right.
He was coming to show people, y'all think I don't have it, but I got it. So he showed up, went on stage, and there were 6,200 persons in there. Woo! Okay. So what happened was the K-pop army.
Bigger than DNA? Raleigh.
I hated it. The K-pop army, which is Korean pop, as well as a lot of TikTokers, signed this RSVP to say that they will be attending, knowing good and well that they wouldn't. So Donald Trump went on stage and was very embarrassed. During the rally, you could hear the contractors breaking down the extra setup area that they had built. All you could hear is the clink and the clank because they were breaking down the setup because no one was there. The Democrats decided to be so petty that Nancy Pelosi, the chief of House, decided to post and say 6,200 people, that could have been a Zoom call. Now, Nancy,
facts.
You know you're wrong for that.
You really ain't though, because it could have been.
The level of petty that the United States government is at this moment is out of control. Once the rally was over, you could see a photo of Donald Trump leaving Air Force One, his hat in his hand and shaking his head. You could see that he was distraught by the lack of support that he got. So considering the amount of persons that are essentially protesting against, because some persons considered it trolling, but it's actually a protest against him.
It was basically like a sit-out.
Right. Do you really feel that his chance for re-election is good at this current state?
To be fair with you, I think that even though we have persons who are very well invested in him needing to win in terms of finances, I think that they also are looking at it like a lesser evil. Because even if he made me money in the last 4 years, he really can make me no money this time, because even certain racist companies they're not gonna be outwardly racist to affect their sales. Yeah. So if that means that I have to gotta get out of office because he's still giving us a bad name, then he gonna have to go. That's how I see it.
I don't think that I don't know. Just from the last election, you can't use that as a reason to say, oh, he's not going to get voted in, just because he didn't have that a large amount of people to his rallies. At the end of the day, some people are still considering the coronavirus as a reason to why I did not show up. We also don't know what most of the people that would have signed up about RSVP were fake, possibly just for it to look good. But at the end of the day, I don't think that you should use that as the reason to say, well, he probably won't be voted in. I wouldn't at least.
I don't think the attendance really mean anything, because at the end of the day, there were persons that wanted to attend that couldn't because of the fully booked. Yeah. But when you have a president, check this out. When you have a president that gets on live television and makes fun of a disabled human being, and you still vote him in, nothing is gonna surprise me. It's like I said before, it's pretty even though. If he wins, I wouldn't be surprised. They voted in a president that came on live TV and made fun of a disabled person. They voted him as president. I don't care what your policy is. I don't care if you're a Republican, Democrat. I don't care what your policies are. You being that kind of sickening human being, for them to vote that human being in as their president speaks volumes.
But Trent, initially, he ran for president just to show how naive Americans were. Anyway, I don't think he was ever really serious about it from the start. He just wanted to show, well, I can be voted in.
I think so. I think so.
He wanted to be in charge, of course. He has that dominant personality, but at the end of the day, he doesn't know anything about politics and law and all the
He wasn't like that. He didn't start off as a councilman, and then a senator, and then a governor, and then a mayor, and then a president.
So
he was a businessman, an entrepreneur.
And that's what set him apart.
He had money.
That's what set him apart. Persons wanted to see how he can essentially raise the United States economy. They wanted someone who was going to help their dollar value increase versus continue to fall. So
he is the perfect example of a conservative who got frustrated with today's society becoming more modern. And he wanted to make America great again by taking away that liberation that America is leaning towards. That's why he wanted to become president.
I think also the reason persons vote for Trump is because of that businessman aspect. You know, they want someone who, yeah, you may not know about politics and policies and law, but when it comes to making deals that will benefit the country, you're good at that. You can make these deals that can make the country millions and billions and trillions of dollars. So that's how I think a lot of persons voted last time.
And I think that's done because there's far more to it than just making a good business deal.
Yeah, that's very
politics. He has to deal with international, people and things of that sort. He doesn't know how to communicate with people correctly. Exactly. He isn't respectful. So he might be able to close a good business deal, but at the end of the day, there's far more to it. Being a president or being a leader in general than just making good business deals. And this is the part where he's failing tremendously.
It's a very minuscule way to think about it. I agree with Anya.
Okay. Well, we're still on the topic of race. We're trying to make sure that it's not a topic that fades away into the background. So Hollywood's way of continuing their efforts is by a lot of white actors portraying Black animated characters have began resigning or quitting their roles and making sure that Black persons fill Black roles. Some of those are seen on Netflix's Big Mouth, as well as Family Guy. I, for sure, never knew that Cleveland was a white man. I never knew that he was first white man.
Nah, I did. That hurt me.
You know, as well as The Simpsons they've made an effort to make sure that all of their ethnic characters are played by the correct ethnicity versus.
But the question isn't that they're doing it now. The question is, why didn't they do it before?
I agree.
That's not the only thing for me. The other thing is a lot of persons they're taking away from what the actual message of the movement per se, their focus was this last go round. So let's take Texas. Texas has decided that they're going to rename the master bedroom because it emphasizes slavery. That's not what we're asking you all to do. Yeah, they're not going to call it the master bedroom anymore.
I suppose call it the master bedroom because the master of the house, whichever house that is, resides in them.
Yeah, but they say it's.
So what are we going to call it?
The big room. The big room.
No, but the big room is also called the great room, which is like your living room.
Right.
Yeah. So their main issue is, it's not that the master bedroom needs to change. It needs to be changed that you show Black persons or persons of color all of the real estate listings available, and not just showing persons things in urban areas or up and coming areas, as they like to say. Show them things that they would actually enjoy. As well as the main focus is supposed to be on getting the police officers that have done these murders to actually be convicted of their crimes. And in a lot of cases, I feel that the media has been washing away by doing these grandiose movements to take the focus off of the fact that these police officers still have not been arrested or convicted.
But also you have to blame the Black persons the persons who are protesting as well, because some of them are like, okay, cool. Now, Aunt Jemima is not on the box anymore. We did it. No.
I don't get that because I want her on the box. I want a black person on my pancake box.
What are they going to call it now?
Exactly, because it ain't even about the picture of her. It's her name. Her name is Aunt Jemima.
I disagree with all of you.
And going back to the characters, like, how am I going to watch Family Guy now and realize that Cleveland voice has changed? Like, Cleveland ain't going to be Cleveland no more. Like, I'm not going to lie. You can't mimic I don't know if they'll find somebody that can mimic that voice again.
I mean...
And sorry, Tom, before you go on, because you said you disagree. I'm not saying that these actions of change aren't good. I just don't want the actions of change to divert our attention, from the main goal. So go on.
Yeah, I think these little small changes are good, but I don't think they're fooling anybody. I don't think rational-minded persons who are part of the Black Lives Matter movement are going to be easily distracted from the main goal, which isn't just to have those police officers indicted and convicted, but equality in general is what they fight for.
So,
so yes, I do think those little changes are a good thing, but I don't think it's going to really distract them. I just think those companies are going to use those things to build their image within this racial pandemic.
To make sure that they get their finances.
Yeah. For me, it's not only about the persons of color that are boycotting and protesting. For me, the focus on what I'm saying is more on the allies. Because if I, as a white person, see that, oh boy, they're giving black people executive jobs, they giving them roles in Hollywood. We've done a really good job. I don't really need to go out there and protest no more. They're doing it. Change is happening. That I don't feel like it's going to be the actual protesters themselves, but more so the allies or the persons that have aligned themselves with it who are going to start to get distracted and feel like, oh, change is happening. Why are y'all still upset? Type of thing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Speaking
of...
Oh, go ahead.
Sorry. Speaking of white persons stepping down on these black roles, I am so sorry. I know we talked about this before, but if you're going to give us a black princess, give us an original new black princess. I don't want to see the black girl playing Ariel. I honestly don't. Don't give us your leftovers. Create new, original, organic black princesses. Don't be like, oh,
I didn't like Tiana. I didn't like Tiana. So they tried with Moana and they gave some tribal feels, but I don't like Tiana.
You don't like Tiana or you don't like the movie?
I don't like both.
Okay.
Because the concept of the princess and the frog, to me, I like the storyline. I just felt as though that the spin that they did on it, I didn't like. As well as I didn't like the fact that they decided to go with the New Orleans Creole spin with voodoo. Really? That's real?
That's what I didn't like either.
Translate that into.
Okay, so let me just clarify this. I love Tiana, but I don't like the story, like you mentioned, the voodoo aspect of things, and the fact that the black girl husband had to be a frog. But other than that, I do think Tiana is one of the most relatable princesses, personality-wise.
I don't.
Yes.
I never watched the movie.
So I get your stance on not just trying to change the character to make her black just to appease. However, I don't feel like that's what they did. They honestly selected the best person that they felt for the role, and it just so happened that she was a black girl. That's actually what I want to see for movies. I want persons to be cast in movies where it's like, oh wow, she's the star of the movie, but she happens to be black. Not, oh, it's a black movie, so that's why she's black. Well, I want us to be written into more. I want writers to not write roles based on a color, right? I want it just to be a neutral role written, and then just cast the person who best acts it.
We also have to remember too that there are some Black actors and actresses that portray white characters in voiceovers, like Susie Carmichael. She has played Susie. I cannot remember her name, but she was on a different world.
I know what you mean. I love her.
She was on a different world, and she has played so many characters. She played Susie Carmichael. She played the Chinese girl in Girls Next Door on Cartoon Network.
She played Miranda on As Told by Ginger.
She played Miranda on As Told by Ginger. She played the leading role in I don't know if you guys remember The Lost City of Atlantis, the Empire, the cartoon. Mm-hmm. She played her. So she plays a bunch of different characters. So she also plays Caucasian characters, Asian characters, Black characters. So it's the same thing. I mean, I agree.
What I think makes it different. I think she's a voice actress, but it's different when you're hiring actresses to play a different ethnicity.
Yeah, but then even so, in some instances, some Black characters can't literally get out of their own Black characterness. Some writing does not call for it. Now, the ones that do, and you could clearly see somebody of any nationality could play a role, then that's different. But some writers, like Remy said, the writers have to be the ones who are writing the story that's applicable, so that it's a diverse cast. It doesn't have to be all Black. It doesn't have to be all white. It can be anybody. Remember the movie Widows? That first scene with Liam Neeson and what is Annalise Keating's real name? I cannot remember. When they were making out. To be honest with you, I thought that the casting in that was really good because I never anticipated Liam Neeson's wife being Black, and not even Black. She was natural hair. She was in there, but the way that the writers wrote that cast could have been anybody.
All right.
So in me, that's a good example.
I'm just being devil's advocate and shady for my favorite company in the world. So Ariel lives underwater. So that means she doesn't get a lot of sun exposure. So it could be that she's a light-skinned Black girl who has been deprived of sun for so long, and now she's gotten a tan.
If I could put you in a headlock, I would.
I agree with your dream, because I was what? You were sitting there the whole time thinking about that scenario. I really hope not.
I seriously would put him in a headlock.
Wendy. That was a deep one.
What?
I think Ariel, but I think Disney tried to do different. I think Disney tried to create different princesses from different places. In Brave, she isn't supposed to be white. She's supposed to be Irish. I think that they were more so going with different countries. Elsa and Anna are supposed to be in Sweden or something, or Hungary or something like that. So I think they went with different elements. Pocahontas is obviously Native American. They neglected to do the Americans coming in and pilfering their land. They decided to just go with the British did it. Fine. Cinderella. I think Cinderella, Snow White, I think all of them was in this mythical land.
No, all of them are from Europe. So on Twitter has the breakdown of where each princess is from. Okay. Who's from the US, who's from Europe, who's from Sweden, all these different things. But we also have to realize that it is a fictional character. So, like I said, it's all about who can bring this fictional character to life the best. It shouldn't be that when I'm watching this movie, I'm seeing that, oh, it's a Black person playing this role. It's just, oh my gosh, Ariel. I should just be looking at Ariel.
This is what I believe. Just create more diverse characters. You can't just write a character and be like, oh, this person could be played by a white or Black person. No, you need to be decisive. No.
Why is that the case?
No, you can't. You can't do that, really.
That is not
you gonna write for a Black character, right?
That is not realistic.
No, and that's
you have to be realistic.
That's the issue now. That is the issue now.
No. When you do that, you're stripping away things that make characters relatable. Okay? Either you're going to create a Chinese character, a Black character, a white character, and introduce us to the culture of that particular character and their environment, and try to commercialize the character by giving the character different personality traits that all races can relate to.
So you're telling me that, let me think of a rule. If Desperate Housewives, the same writing, the same script, and all of the women were black, you don't think that show would have been good? If there were
hell no.
Why?
No, there are certain things about Desperate Housewives would have to change for that to actually.
I've never watched it. I'm sorry.
But like what? What would have had to change?
Yeah, I know about it is Eva Longoria and she.
I gotta think about that, but I just don't think it would have.
It's not going to work because you want it to be black. I don't want us to only have black roles. I want us to have roles. Period.
We're not saying that, Ramesh. We're saying diversify the roles.
Diversify the
patrons. We're asking you.
What do you want to make the roles more diverse?
How does the
use a different example?
That is not a good Housewives would have had to change into would have had to change their characters entirely. I don't think.
Do you know what is a good example?
Sure.
Harry Potter would be the excellent example because that particular movie does not, the environment and the culture of the people in Harry Potter, they don't have a specific. It's not related to any race.
In England, bro, they are legitimately in.
Black people are in England.
Okay.
Yeah, but not.
Okay, so how would they need to change the characters to diversify it? Or my point.
Right. No. This is what I'm saying. When
I never watched Harry Potter.
When the books came out,
would be in Hufflepuff.
Some people were under the impression that I'm not going to say which character it is because that's going to cause another argument. Some people were under the impression when the books came out that a particular character was black. But when the movie came out, it's like, oh, that's a white person. But the creator of the Harry Potter series did say she wished she had made someone gay. She wished she had made one of the main characters black. She did say that if there's anything that she would have changed for the movie, that's what she would have done.
Okay.
But who would you put it as a main character?
So just before we go on that, let me just put a pin in this. So if the script for Harry Potter was the same, the movies were the exact same, but instead of Daniel Radcliffe, it was a Michael B. Jordan, would that be an issue with the movie?
Instead of a what?
Instead of Daniel Radcliffe as Harry Potter, Michael B. Jordan was Harry Potter.
The only issue it would be is it probably wouldn't have been as big as it was.
I thought about that.
Because in society, black guy playing Harry Potter is not commercial enough.
Keep in mind now, Harry Potter would not have existed yet. This man would have brought Harry Potter to life.
Right.
So there would still be persons that have read the books and who are fans of the books, and it just so happened that a black person brought it to life. That's my point. So my point isn't that there's an established movie like Little Mermaid. I'm not talking about that. I'm just speaking of if there is a good script out there that any person should be able to audition for this role. It shouldn't be that we are looking for a white female 23 to 47. It should just be female 23 to 47.
It depends on the role. I'm sorry. Some roles you can do that. Some roles you can't do that. You have to be realistic, and you have to say this person is black.
A wizard.
This person is white.
I find that funny. I'm sorry.
Such as Trent. Such as.
Ramesh, what are you talking about? It just doesn't make any sense.
No. So give me an example of where it wouldn't work.
If you're creating a movie about some typical young man that grew up in the Bahamas. Through Camp Road.
Okay.
That guy has to be black.
He has to be. Keep it real. Because there's no concrete or white people who live through Camp Road.
Exactly. Okay. That's my point.
I was being very sarcastic. I was being very sarcastic with that statement, but okay.
Yeah, because
it's true.
You're going based on a general. So let me tell you how the movie would change if a white person lived through Camp Road. Now we're seeing how, because he's the only white person living in Camp Road, how those interactions change and how he's grown to live in that society. Imagine that being a black person living in Life Key. You see how this person has grown through the society and grown to show that they are great in this area.
But Black people do live like a key.
Okay, you won't understand what I'm trying to say. So we're going to move on to the next topic. Okay? So.
I do understand what you're trying to say.
So what am I trying to say? I'm just saying that it shouldn't just be, this is a Black person's
the race
versus a white person's
skin color should not determine how a writer writes for a show or a movie.
Right.
But
however, that's what he's saying. He just write a movie, and whoever fits best with the character works. I mean, whoever fits best with the writing of the movie, pick them. Instead of saying, I'm writing a movie specifically for a Black man or specifically for an Asian man or whatever.
Now, Trent, yes, I do understand that there are going to be cases where it's like a slave piece, where, of course, we're not going to have white slaves. I understand that. I kind of understand
what you're saying, Ramesh, but I also agree with Trent, though. There's just certain scenarios or certain situations where you cannot write for a white man to be in something. Certain scenarios, you just cannot do that.
What I'm simply trying to say to Ramesh is, I'm not dismissing his idea completely. What I'm saying is, what he's trying to say can only apply for some roles. Not all roles. It's not going to work.
I disagree with that, because I think that when a writer does make a movie or a series or whatever they decide to do, they don't necessarily, or at least I would hope, they don't necessarily have a race with it per se. The background of it tends to, I think sometimes the background of it, because you even see when writers or when a movie comes out and it blows up, they'll always say, this wasn't even the original concept. So sometimes if they cast somebody, that person, like if I cast Trent, but I had all intentions of casting somebody who was Caucasian, but Trent is just that good, I need to now adjust my writing background to accompany Trent's personality, because I may have Trent to be super meek and mild, but based on him just capturing me during his audition, I've realized that now I have to tweak my main character to be a little less shy and a little bit more, forthcoming, but that's because of Trent's personality. I think that sometimes the writers can actually adapt to the person that they cast. Now, I'm not saying that some people don't go into it saying, oh, we need a white person who's quite white.
Sometimes, not all the time. Some rules.
But I think I think writers can adjust and adapt.
But anyway, I guess we're all agreeing to disagree.
Yes, and that happens. We don't have to agree on everything. But what we can agree on is that if we had social media during the time of slavery, it would have been lit. Okay? Because I can just imagine myself as a little old house slave.
Whoa!
Why you gotta be a house slave? Why you in outside?
Because I sweat a lot and it's hot.
He's not. I'm sorry. You are not light enough to be inside. I'm sorry.
I am going to beg and plead, okay?
Nadia would be inside.
And they will beat you, and I will record that beating and send it to you.
I need to be inside.
Shout out to Ashley. Ashley would be inside. Shout out to
I would be inside, and I wouldn't even be like the favorite one, because I still get dark when I go outside too long. So it'd be like,
I give you one that. I get one little suntan if I go inside for 10 minutes.
Nadia can't be no slave. I'm out too hard, then get up. She can't be, They can be like, this ain't gonna work. Nadia just like me. This ain't gonna work. We have that.
Because I'd be like, but you told me you was paying me last week though, and it's been 3 weeks. So
can you imagine the Instagram post though? Like I supposed to be outside gardening, and the slave masters left, so I snuck inside and I just there like work of art who, I just feel like other chaos would have ensued. Like it was already bad not having it, but imagine sending a text message from inside. Nadia,
I think it wouldn't have lasted long.
I heard Wilden.
I heard they say they're trying to bring you inside to be a house slave. Girl, run.
Only the house slave phone.
Huh?
But like how some guys now, they'll put roadblock on Prince Charles. They'll be like, roadblock, don't go that way. They lynching out there. So
they lynching out there.
I mean, those slaves would be inside like, oh, like a Carlos. They had Carlos out there. They had Carlos out there from 3 o'clock this morning picking cotton. Poor Carlos.
I think it would end it, because I think that social media, like really, I mean, it's definitely, it has its cons, but it has a lot of pros too. Like, you don't necessarily be associated with something for too long if the general good or the greater good of the world is, against it. And I think that's the difference between now and then. Like, realistically, nothing really connected us. We didn't travel to different countries voluntarily. So
we're able to communicate with one another.
Right. And there's countries can step in and help.
That also don't mean that we had our slave masters' numbers. They ain't have to see what we was posting.
Really? You think Tommy Lyron ain't gonna know what y'all posting?
No, because he have a secret slave inside who using their burner phone to message the group and see what y'all is be saying about him.
They would have policies in place to have limits on slaves and what they would post and stuff, I'm sure.
Oh, you could imagine.
Oh yeah, Twitter would delete it. This post goes against everything we stand for.
Yeah. Not only that, you have to go to the slave master to get the Wi-Fi password, and he just was like, "How much cloth can you pick today?"
Get it for one of the white little kids inside the house.
For them to go tell their parents.
You whisper to the window. Hey.
What the password is? Oh, sure, I'll give it to you.
Facts. You'll also be jealous because you'll be seeing how other slaves are living and you're just not.
Listen. Oh, Dave have y'all in separate beds in the hut? Wow.
Tommy be like
on the floor.
Tommy be like, oh, let me show you how to use TikTok. It's so exciting. Tommy get some real cut up.
What?
Tommy,
listen, his mommy pull up and he outside dancing with the slaves.
Tommy, I don't know. Like Nadia said, probably have some pros to it, but I don't know. It'd be dead funny though.
Trust me.
I would love to see some slaves on live. Run on. Who modded that slave master?
No, the said who running away. You know, like how they have the police chase? You just on live running away from your slave master.
But I think the pros today with social media is that, like I was saying, other countries can globally step in if it's really, really, really bad out there. You know what I mean? Like, at some point, if this whole thing doesn't calm down in the States, like, United Nations is going to step in. Countries are going to come in and be like, bro, y'all is doing a lot. And what we going to need y'all to do is relax. Or they could come together and just like demean their dollar. And like, there are things that can assist, now. Whereas back in the day, people living in the UK was dealing with their own struggles. Like, they had their own forms of hardship or whatnot, but they didn't know what another country was doing, per se.
Yeah. And you can imagine people snapping and lynching and stuff. I feel like that wouldn't violate the terms of
going live while somebody getting beat.
Beat hanged.
No, see now that's it's a pro and it's a con at the same time because
it also invokes fair. Like even now, I think it was 2 weeks ago I saw, and it may have been an old posting, but like this person sitting down in his front room in his full KKK gear, saying how their time is coming and they can just do what they need to do and just get rid of all the niggers out there who are making it difficult. And I'm thinking to myself, one, you sound like you live right in the trailer park. Let's start there. And two, you probably have children with your cousin. And when I mean your cousin, I mean like your mommy's person. So like, but it's still out there. It still invokes fair because that same person who has nothing to live for because he lives so, poverishly, is the same one who don't have no problem walking into somebody's house, walking into some black house and just taking somebody and lynching them on a street.
You know the question I always had? Who are friends with persons in the KKK?
Who are what?
Who are friends with them? Like, is it just the 12
police officers, politicians?
You don't know. It's like over here with the
lodge.
With the lodge, you know some people who would be proud to say they're in it, but you don't know everybody. That's
exactly.
True.
But
you don't know what they do.
I never really understood about the whole KKK thing.
I mean,
Americans would go hard for persons who disrespect the flag and persons who protests and destroy buildings and things of that nature. But nobody speaks out against a whole organization whose objective is to eradicate a whole different race of people. Like, that amazes me. That convinces me that I'm sure politicians in America are part of the KKK, and they're just quiet about it because that's something that you wouldn't let your American people know. So the KKK is allowed to thrive within America.
I feel like a lot of people are naive that it still exists. I feel like persons felt that, it went away way back in the day, and don't feel like persons are still a part of it. Unless
they let it thrive, but they don't put it on the news stations and stuff. Like, there's a marches every year.
It's just like any other group. You could think it one way, but I mean,
I just want to say, I'm pretty sure people are aware that they're still alive and running. It's just
the media doesn't.
Just because they're not in the public lynching and killing in broad daylight, don't mean that they don't exist. And I'm pretty sure they're going to also tell persons that that's not even what they do. You know, they have foundations to their rules and what they actually stand for.
They donate to charitable organizations that support the KKK. You know, understood.
What do you guys think about the 6 hangings that happened recently and the murders that happened recently? Do you think it's affiliated with the KKK?
I don't want to say that it's directly associated with them, but it's definitely, I would say, a white supremacist movement.
You know what I learned lately? I learned from this activist on TikTok. I love watching her because she teach a lot. She said that in order to be promoted or move up in the KKK, you have to murder someone. So if you're being promoted or if you want to move up, you have to bring a life.
Some gangs do that too.
I was like, also that's how they get their rank. That's interesting.
Yeah, but Trent, some gangs do that too. Like, certain gangs will tell you in order for you to be indicted, because it's blood for blood. The only way in is by blood, and the only way out is by blood. So you gotta kill again. You have to kill somebody from the rival gang, or some will tell you kill somebody from an innocent person on the streets, and that's how you get indicted. So there's also, like, what I'm trying to say is, like, I think that they exist. I'm not naive that they don't exist. About the lynchings that are happening, I don't know. They can definitely be KKK, but you also have persons out there who are just trying to be copycatters, because organizations like that actually claim when things are done by them. They don't have no issue saying that we didn't do it. Like, they will want to come out and say, no, we did do this, so that y'all are very well aware that we do exist.
They can't just do that, though. Yeah. They can't just say, "Oh yes, it was our organization," because they would be they'd be forced into investigation. Because at the end of the day, if you know that it was your organization, that means that
when ISIS commits a terrorist attack, they send a video and said, "Yes, we did it."
I know with ISIS.
So Trent,
Americans in the KKK.
So Trent, it goes back to what you said earlier. If we have government officials in high-ranking positions who are going to also be a part of our organization, I am sure if I have one of my linemen commit a murder, I could prosecute them. They did the job that I sent them to do.
Yeah. But the key thing with the KKK is you can't come out and say that you do it, because society now is watching.
Your people watching.
And they don't care.
You would be breaking the law if you know that somebody murdered someone and you come out and say, yes, I know that Jim murdered John. So they can't. So the KKK is not going to come out and say, yes, we did it. No, they're not going to do that.
I disagree with that,
because there are repercussions of that. Now, if they want, if they want anonymously come out and say, yes, we did it, with, I don't know, something written or a tweet or something, and nobody knows who made the tweet or wrote the letter or whatever the case may be, sure, but no representative is going to come out, show their face, and be like,
But Trent.
Yes.
No, but the KKK never shows their face. They always
so
wear
it just goes back to like me sending a news article to a newspaper and saying, oh, the recent murder may have been committed by the KKK. So that's letting them know that that's our mark. Whenever y'all see it, it's us. But I tell you, you get that from an email with say no name 39742 at yahoo.com.
There's march and stuff with a mask off. Sometimes there's some interviews with a mask off.
That's the set who just don't care.
Yeah.
Say it again.
Yeah. Well, we are heading into a wonderful week. A lot of excitement happening here in the Bahamas. So everybody, please be safe. Wear your mask so you don't have to pay that $200 fine. Thank you for tuning in to this week's Community. Make sure to check us out on all of the streaming platforms. So YouTube, SoundCloud, Apple Podcasts, and wherever you find our podcasts. Thank you for tuning in and have a great week, everybody.
Bye.